And 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Amal, and joining me tonight, I have Andy, Carl, George, and Mus. We are the Monday Blues, coming off the back of a, would you call it a historic win at the Adelaide Oval, beating one of the two Adelaide teams for the first time at Adelaide Oval. The Baggers got up against Port Adelaide on Thursday night, 10-11, 71 to the Carltons, 16-11, 107. What a win it was. It was spectacular. For those watching along, welcome. Welcome to the Power Outage review. Shout out to, it wasn't just one person this week that mentioned Power Outage as the video review title. There was a couple of people, so collectively, well done. Well done on naming today's review title. Before you go around the grounds, I'll throw it to George very, very quickly.
Yes, thank you, Mal. As always, big shout out to our sponsor, bluescrypto.com. Got the cool little overlay here. Thanks, Ur, for getting around us. So, everyone who hasn't sussed out bluescrypto.com, a really cool fan token, essentially. So, cryptocurrency, if it's your thing, definitely suss it out. I'm sure you'll know how that stuff works. If it's not your thing and you're not a seasoned investor, still worth having a quick look into it. It is a really cool fan token led by the man himself, Ur, who is available to chat to directly as well. He's a really huge Carlton enthusiast and a top bloke as well. So a really cool, innovative form of cryptocurrency. Bluescrypto.com. Appreciate you getting around us. Get around them as well. Get around Ur. Thank you for your support.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Excellent. Gents, how are we doing? How are we feeling? It was a bit of a long weekend. Getting up until this point at least, anyway. Georgie, how are you? How was your weekend after Thursday?
It's been that long, by the way. I just finished watching the KO Mini to remember what happened because it's been that long. Right, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It feels like it's it's been ages, but it sets up the week. Going into Friday was just bliss, right? There's not many. I don't think I know any Port fans, to be honest. So I can't really rib anyone on the Friday, but no, it was really, really good. And then whatever you end up doing on the weekend, it's enjoyable regardless after a win. So happy days, and the rest of the results, I guess, in the fixture was quite pleasing too. Yeah.
Carl, what about you?
Yeah, George said it perfectly. Great win by the boys. It's not often we see that 4 quarters of a good footy, which made it entertaining and great. Made it an extra long, good weekend. But yeah, the other results made it even better, I guess. It was good.
Andy, what about you?
Good, man. Good. Solid win.
Yeah.
A very good win. And that just, gives you a bit of a pep in your step for the weekend. Watching the scum lose, watching the filth lose, watching Richmond lose. It's always good. It's always, just added a bit of added a bit more love to my weekend. I'll put it that way. How you going, Moose?
It was almost a week ago now. A couple of days to go. It's almost a week. It's really good to win. No better feeling than those other two sides losing as well. And us cementing our spot, cementing our spot in the 8 where we belong, as I can see in a lot of the comments. Is the lid well and truly off? I'm getting there. I'm just sort of, I don't know. It's kind of just hanging on at the moment. It's nearly there.
Well, where do we even begin with this, right? It was a completely different Carlton that came out against Port Adelaide. In comparison to the last couple of weeks, I just feel like everything started to click against Port Adelaide. And I think one thing that we should probably kick it off with is Captain Cripps.
All that.
All that.
I just saw that from Cameron Bayer. Fantastic. I just sung that little song in my head when I saw that comment.
When I read the comments, that's right.
And a really quick shout out to Oz Atesh in the chat. Oz actually had a really good prediction after our preview video. He was almost spot on. He commented saying we'll beat Port Adelaide by 24 points tomorrow night. Kerner to kick maybe 3 and Crips for BOG. Mate,
Wow.
very
Solid.
good prediction. Very
Pretty good.
close. So shout out to you, Oz. Well done.
Pretty good. I think Cameron in the chat, I think it was Cameron in our chat for the preview last week as well, said Crips to kick Kerner to kick 3, Mackay to kick 3, and I think Zach Williams to kick. So he was pretty spot on as well. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was him. Sorry, Cameron, if it wasn't, but take it anyway.
Take
He'll
it.
take
Yeah. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Please hit that like button.
Captain Crips. He had a ripper of a game.
He had a ripping
quarter.
he had a ripper of a fourth quarter. He just said to the boys, "Jump on him. I'm taking you to the happy place." Wet man. Shame it wasn't wet.
It wasn't wet, but it was soaking.
He made everyone wet.
Like 22 touches, 11 score involvements. So that, that goes to show versus a player that will rack up, I'm not going to name names or anything, but rack up, 35, 40 touches, but how much do they impact the game? That fourth quarter for me was leadership defined. Like you guys said, it spot on. The first 3 minutes of game time, he had 2 goals. We're going to get into the fourth, but 2 goals and 2 inside 50s, which led to the Williams and Chincotta goal. What a guy. What a guy.
My captain. Tell you what, it was a performance that sums up Voss's mantra, I think. Voss's system and Voss's belief in what he's trying to do with this team. And that is a performance that any young player on our list can look up to and say, that's what I aspire to be. That's what I want to bring to my football club. So yeah, great quarter by Cripper. I mean, a great quarter by everyone. It was a mega last quarter, and we'll get into that. But yeah, Cripper was a monster. He was a monster.
Well, he's now getting on the scoreboard as well, which is what the difference is, I think, compared to his last year, right? And I think he kicked, what was it, 9 or 10 goals, I think, last year in total. And so far this year, he's kicked, and for those watching along, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's kicked 12 goals so far this year. And we're not even at halfway yet. So that's pretty bloody impressive. And I think as a collective, we've been screaming out for that for so long, right? It's been, we need our midfielders to start to get onto the scoreboard more. And it's good. It's good that the first person that you see to start getting on that scoreboard is the skip.
The beauty of it is that you can rest him in the forward line rather than rotate him on the bench, right? Like drop him in the forward line as well, and you're confident that he provides another marking option, and you have the confidence that he can hit the scoreboard. So love it.
That's the thing. You don't want to jinx him, but his goal accuracy it's changed. Like,
Remember, back in the day,
ago,
he was woeful in front of goal.
Yeah. I think it's ever since Casbolt left. He might have fixed that up. But no, all seriousness, he's probably kicking them 80-90% of the time now, which is great to see.
This week.
The second goal in the fourth quarter, he went for it, and to be honest, I just had that in my head, it's Crips. I don't know, this could go anywhere, right? But when it went through, wow!
I thought he missed.
That was so weird to me, that goal, because whoever was on him, how do you leave Crips alone for so long? He was just alone.
Yeah,
that's a Brownlow medalist. That's
the
a
second
Brownlow
one.
medalist.
Francis left him.
Yeah, the second goal.
Walsh got him with a handball over the back, and he was on his own spot on, and he was on his own.
He was on his own for 15 seconds, I reckon, because it was a stoppage, and he was just that is. If I'm a Port defensive coach, you'd be bleeding, wouldn't you? How do you leave?
You don't leave a player like that. Yeah, exactly.
You don't leave any player alone. That's that's going to cost you. But let alone Crips, as you said. Yeah, you can't. Awesome performance in that last quarter. But we scored 7-1 from clearances in that last quarter.
That's ridiculous.
That's unreal. We don't do that in complete games. In whole games, we do that sometimes. So to be able to have a last quarter, pressure on, away from home, close contest. Port was sticking around. They were, if they took their chances in the second, that third could have been a completely different story. But then we didn't take our chances. So it was a seesawing game. But
It's a bit of tit for tat, yeah.
Yeah, so to come out and just take the game completely away from them was next level. Next level. And there were so many standout players. So many.
Yep.
I think a big one for me, ricotta melting butter, ricotta melted butters. Sorry, that's my dad joke today. But anyway,
Oh dear.
I love. I know, it's a bad one. Sorry, I'll do better. But how good is the? Can we just quickly talk about the shift of the Magnus Cincotta and you've got perfect the Cincotta shift, which has allowed Williams. We'll talk about Williams as well. It's another great shift, but how. So far, don't want to jinx it, but how great have those moves worked out? And for Cincotta to melt butters, so I'm going to say it again, and impact offensively and get the goal.
Mm.
What do you guys think about his game?
I think
must have been a big fan. So, Carl?
No, I was going to say, if you told me before the game Cincotta's going to line up on butters, I'd be like, yeah, look, I don't know, it's probably a bad idea. But as the game,
Someone called it out in the preview. Someone said he'd go to Butters.
Me.
Yeah.
There were a few.
So you would have thought, probably wouldn't do as well. But to his credit, he not only dominated him, he kept him to 20, 21, 22, maybe I think it was 22 touches, and he kicked the goal, which is wow.
The best part about it was those he kept him to 21, but he was like ineffective for most. Like he wasn't damaging, and Butters has been damaging all year. So it's really good that we found that negating player now that we can go to. And we used to use Cottrell a fair bit just to quell like an opposition player, but Cincotta is a full-blown tagger. He's a negating
he's
player.
Tough as well.
Yeah.
But he'll hit the scoreboard too. You'll start seeing him kick 3 goals a game.
That's
He'll
the thing, because those players will take him to the forward line. And he can kick a goal. He can, put that pressure on. So it's a scary prospect if you're a good midfielder going against someone like Cincotta.
Yeah.
Does he go to Merit this week?
I think you have to.
Yeah, I agree.
Like based on the last couple of weeks, I think you have to.
Mm-hmm.
If you can negate Zach Butters' fourth quarter versus Hawthorn a few weeks ago. Again, one of the best fourth quarters I've ever seen an individual performer do, right? And he had that team on his back. And like you said, Cincotta just negated his influence on that game. Merritt is arguably the Filth's and the Scum's most dangerous player. You got to persist with it. And I think do you again, by doing that, do you leave Cowan, and we'll talk about this in the preview, I'm sure, but persist with Williams up there. So there's a few moves that have worked successful so far. Do you persist with them until all of a sudden it might be figured out by the opposition? But I just feel like Cincotta's fantastic as a tagger. He's powerful, he's strong, he's fast. And I felt like it provided a little bit of that speed to the contest and the clearance in the midfield.
Mm. Well, whilst we're on the topic of Magnus that have been moved around, and should we move him around again, let's bring up Zach Williams. He's done it again. 3 goals, and again, like the Gold Coast game, the bloke looks genuinely happy to be out there on the field playing footy. He looked miserable in the back line, and he looks a completely different person in the forward line. Like, have you ever seen someone celebrate a goal the way Zach Williams did, like that? One of those ones. Yeah, he lost his
one.
Yeah,
not since the Tanto helped him.
He absolutely loved it. Absolutely loves a goal. He's kicked 3. He's kicked 7 in 2 games.
2 weeks.
Would you
late run for the Coleman?
How do you boys feel? Would you persist with Williams in the forward line, and would you persist with Cincotta as a tagger in the midfield?
Definitely a lock. Definitely a lock for Williams because you've got those players that fill in his position in the back line.
I don't think he
He's
goes
only-
back to the back line at all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like being able to shift him from the defense and Cincotta as well, that allows Kemp to stay in the side. That allows Cowan,
Cowan.
Boyd. So all of a sudden, it brings stability not just to the team, but like to those individual players, because they know, all right,
Really
if I
good point.
continue playing well, I'm keeping my spot.
Mm.
So now it's not a matter of who we're going to put in, because when Saad and McGovern were coming back, we're like, who's going to go out? From the defense.
And they didn't. They just moved the pieces around. Yeah.
So I think it's a credit to the coaching staff as well,
Yeah.
for being able to do that, and having the balls to do that too. Like it takes guts, to put it these days to have a tagger, like to play someone as a genuine tagger, goes against everything everyone else is doing pretty much. So that's pretty good, and the fact that like they showed faith in Williams to go forward, and he's rewarded their faith, mate. It's a genius stroke, both of them.
Yeah, and and another important thing as well is that if you look at our backline now compared to at the start of the year, our backline now is so young. Boyd's young, Kemp's young, Cowan's young.
Lewis Young.
Lewis is young, but not that sort of young.
So that's
You're on fire tonight, George.
And we're getting more.
Don't
games-
encourage him. Don't encourage him.
We're getting more games under the belt of younger players, which is brilliant, and that's in the defense where we've been solid for quite some time. So it's good to see some of the older fellas move out into newer positions, play really well, and keep the younger guys in our backline. Very, very happy with that. Let us know in the chat. How do you guys feel? Zach Williams and Cincotta to stay in those positions, keep it as is, or would you like to see some changes? But whilst we're on this topic as well, Peter might be ready to go for Essendon. I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. He could be good to go. If he is, do you bring him back in the team? Because TDK had a great game too.
If
I wouldn't.
Goldstein comes back, you bring him in. If he doesn't, fuck him.
Because
Holt's going to be back, definitely. He
Is it
will
a
be back.
horses situation?
Well, they haven't got Draper.
yeah, he's out.
He's out.
So do you just go? Well, because
Harry and TDK.
They'll go Goldie
Yeah.
and Peter, 2 meter Peter. Yeah. To be honest, I say give it another. Just persist with like TDK's had a brilliant couple of weeks. Let him go again. Give Kiddo the time into the bye. Keep the momentum going. I can't see TDK lowering his colours against Goldie, but
Essendon plays fast footy. I don't
Exactly.
think you want to bring in Pitternet into a game like that because I think it could hurt us.
It'll slow us
So-
right down.
Yeah.
What beat Port Adelaide for us was that explosiveness out of the midfield. That's what got us over the line in the end.
Yeah.
I think with Pitto there, it's not there. It's just not there. And that's not a slight on Pitto because there is going to be games where we need his tools. Yeah. But TDK, I called that he'd have a big game and I was wrapped for him that he had a great game.
Yeah.
He had an absolute great game. He's putting together a pretty solid resume at the moment, TDK, this season. He's putting something pretty good together. And with everything else that we're getting right at the moment, I just think don't mess with it. Like let it flow naturally.
Yeah.
And let's just see how we go. What are we now? 8-4?
Mm-hmm.
I think 8-4.
Yep,
8-4.
8-4 with another one to add to that with the injuries that we've had and the tough fixture that we've faced with a relatively easier draw to come.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Montagna said it best. That win was the win full of substance. So good position, a lot of good performance around the ground, and just on TDK. I'll get your boys' thoughts on this, but you know how we always talk about the big five, or Carlton need their big five to fire, and the big five being Crips, Walsh, Kerno, Harry, Weeders. I think it's time. TDK is in that mix now. I think it's the big six.
Mhm.
I'm calling it from now. I think he's now part of that group, and if he fires and he looks good, we win.
He's so dangerous. Like if you're an opposition coach, you'd be so worried because all right, sweet, we've got a ruckman that can cover him. But if he goes forward, he hits the scoreboard, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, I've got to guard Charlie, I've got to guard Harry. Now is this bloke as well? It's a problem for the opposition. Then you got Cripper that goes down forward. So we really, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think TDK is in that mix.
And
Speaking
he's
of
another extra mid.
Drop. Did you guys see Wiedering drop so many marks on the weekend?
Yeah.
I just
No, he
noticed-
was.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what I don't know. I wonder if it was because he doesn't drop those. He's got pretty good hands, but he was just dropping them. I don't know. It was weird.
Maybe we're used to he's just the consistency of how good he is with intercept marking as well.
I want to see how many marks he actually took because I don't think I saw him take like many.
Have they mentioned anything about TDK? Because he got
Winded.
arm sore, whatever it was in the last couple of minutes of the game.
Voss said there were no
tomorrow.
injuries out of the game.
That's good.
So
Yeah, until Thursday.
The McKay Cup, one of them out.
they're both playing, yeah.
So far,
First
For
time
now.
in
That's scary.
10 years, man. That's
so far.
They just both shouldn't go to training this week.
Just go to the G and
They'd
wait.
line up on each other, wouldn't they?
They'd
They'd
have to.
Yeah,
They'd
you'd
have
have
to.
to. You'd have to.
We just took 5 marks. That's I don't know. I think I remember like
boys.
1.
I don't
He
think
just
they'll be on
dropped
each other the whole game though, because Harry pushes up a lot.
Yeah, he does.
At the first bounce, they have to be each other on the first bounce.
Yeah, everyone's
Sure.
waiting for it.
Dispel the
Voss
rumors.
will probably troll and put Harry in the ruck.
Yeah. Make everyone wait just a little bit longer.
Hope he doesn't.
Well, on Harry, what a huge team contributor, man! 3 goals, but they work around the ground. He's inside 50s now as well. Like he's a lot of stuff was done with maybe little to no reward, but now he's getting the rewards for it. And I feel like he can play without the microscope on him all the time because he's got that support around him.
I'm still watching, George.
It's
Yeah.
been a big turnaround since last year. I'm thinking maybe they swap players. Maybe we got Ben. Such a difference.
No, you're right, though. Harry Mackay's contribution on the weekend was good. 17 disposals, 3 goals, 414 metres gained for a key forward
That's
There's
huge.
no one like him.
Latest game.
There's nobody like him in the league.
at all.
There is absolutely no one like him in the league. We're so lucky to have a Harry Mackay in our team.
Moose is upset.
Oh,
No,
What are you upset
he's
about?
good. Nah, he's good. No, it's fantastic.
Says good, but he's upset. Like, nah, it's good. Small,
Harry will
but-
kick 10. He'll turn to Moose in the crowd. What do I got to do, man? What do I got to do?
He has, a couple of good games in a row. It's been good.
Let's put together a good season.
He's putting together a great season. Moose, you got to start giving him proper recognition.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It'll come.
Yeah.
Just one on our forward
don't know
line,
when.
really quickly. We're talking about Williams before, but if someone told you early last year that our best small forward combination next year will be Fogg and Williams, you never would have picked it. I remember we were talking about best 22. We were trying to put together a rough best 22 last year, and that was just before Fogg came back into the team. But if someone told you, Fogg and Williams will be your most effective small forwards, like, wow.
Williams, I
How
would
did-
have I would have said you're on crack.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
Williams.
no way he'll be playing. He's been re-injured. I mean, how's he going to...
Always has been good though. I think Always has strung together a few good games. But now there's rumors swirling around Always that he's coming out of contract at the end of the year, and that there's a few clubs that are interested in his services.
So Carlton's going to give him
Great
7
swap.
years.
We're going to straight swap him for Heaney and Haywood.
I don't know how many people were knocking on the door for Durden. We gave him 2. If Carlton realizes people are sniffing for Owies, they're going to throw anything he wants at him.
6 years.
Lord Mayor.
You just upset me. You just upset me. You reminded me that. Can't understand why. Can't understand.
Durden comes in this week, doesn't he?
You know what's funny? I was watching the game with our good friend Morris, and every time Fogg would go near the ball, he'd go, "Oh, Durden. Durden's got the ball." I was so confused. What the fuck is he talking about? Then I realised.
In all honesty, on you, Morris, I reckon Fogg is probably one of the most underrated players in the league.
Absolutely.
He's so clever. He's got the footy IQ. He's tackling. I don't have to explain his tackling. He hits hard. He's tap-ons. He's a smart user of the ball. He doesn't panic. Like he's composed. So ever since he's been in, and that record with him in the team just keeps getting greater and greater. What is it now? 15-2 or 16-2, I think it is, with him in the team.
Oh, we're in trouble here. We're in trouble here, George.
I don't think they'd take him.
Shout out over.
Oh, shit.
Sad, again, got through unscathed. A good game. He still doesn't seem 100% though. I feel
He
like
didn't kick a long ball to the last quarter. Maybe third. Maybe late.
Yeah,
third.
it was a third.
Yeah.
And he's not using that speed more.
Nah, he used it once all game when he chased that ball down going towards the 50 line, and he caught up like it was nothing.
He may be fit. He's just maybe taking it easy.
He's being a bit tentative, I reckon.
It's a weird one.
Maybe he could be just waiting, like just to get himself to the bye.
Yeah.
And then maybe up his workload, or potentially he might not be training as hard as everyone else at the moment. So he's probably fit enough to play, but not fit enough maybe to go at 100. So again, for me, that's another mature performance from him, because he didn't really go overboard, didn't do anything, to harm himself, and we just got to keep him fit, keep him all fit.
Almost kicked the goal of the year off the floor from 50 as well.
That good was Fantasia as well.
Fantasia.
Oh my god, that one.
Yeah, that camera angle got me. That camera angle completely got me.
I was halfway off my seat thinking, "There's no way, no way."
Don't drop Fantasia anymore. Keep him in the team.
It would have been just peak Carlton.
Yeah,
had you scored that goal, right? Just peak. Yeah.
Against his old side too.
It was a good game. It was like 4 quarters of just not just effort, but it was a smart game. We outsmarted them. Voss outcoached Hinkley with many factors, but we gave 4 quarters, and this is something we've struggled with, right? Because even when we're up by 4 goals, how many of you were confident that we were going to win? We were up by 4 goals in the last.
It's PTSD.
You know what I mean?
And
that's exactly. So that's the Carlton, like you said, George. I think it was George, PTSD. Like we've seen us concede. It happened against Gold Coast. They scored the last 4 goals of the game in like 10 minutes. So they gained some points from me after what they lost from the Sydney game. So it was a very mature performance. It was a solid performance. 4 quarters. We didn't look out of it at all at any point. We looked in front. I think we were in front like the whole game. I don't think they got in front.
There was one point here and there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's to your point, Andy. We never let them get a run. Right? It was goal for goal in the third, and even early in the fourth, like it was goal for goal.
Yeah. We'd always be back.
Right. We never let them get a run, and like you said, like the Suns game, the D's game, we let them get a run in the fourth. And every week that passes by, the Adelaide loss just makes me angrier. So it was, it was a mature game. Closed it well. Shout out Morris.
Morris in the chat. Carlton played fast when needed, whilst Port played fast tempo all game without changing tempo. That's as accurate as it gets, I reckon. They were non-stop. Every single time they won a clearance, it was forward and fast and far out. Are they fast? Like Jason Francis, Butters. These guys move at astronomical paces. It's ridiculous. And you know, when I first saw this, because I haven't had the opportunity to watch Port throughout the year this year at all. So this is really the first time. And the speed that they can get out of stoppage and start moving the ball forward was ridiculous. I thought when I first saw it in the first quarter, I'm like, man, I don't know how Carlton's going to keep up with this. Surprise, we were able to. And not only were we able to mitigate that, but we were able to go back the other way and put it on the scoreboard as well. It was brilliant. There's not a lot you can really fault from this game. I mean, really, if you really wanted to nitpick, you could say maybe in the third quarter, we looked like we were going to break away, but we weren't finishing off our opportunities. We missed a few, but then we cleaned
goal square.
Yeah. And we cleaned it up.
I thought of mush straight away. That's exactly how I thought you'd react. Just the shake of the head.
I did react.
If anyone was watching this review on no sound and was looking at Moose and think Carlton lost by 36.
It takes a lot to impress us. It takes a lot to impress.
I'm smiling.
He's out of his
Talk about it.
sling. He's happy. He's that. Come on, bro.
No, it's good. Good win. Solid win. Good performance. Can't knock it.
But go on.
I'm scared. I'll tell you why I'm scared, because like we got Chera, we got Cotters, and a few of those boys come back in, and then do we go back to rubble again? Do they sort of, we just, like you said, fuck, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do we just, what happens if someone comes in? Like, it's all good now, we've had no change. And then if someone else comes in, does it tip the scale and we sort of go to shit again? I don't know.
So have you lost faith in the system completely?
No, it's not the system. I don't know. The system has changed. Let's be real. The system has definitely changed. We've moved a lot of pieces around and things are actually working. I don't know. I feel like with Chera, we don't win. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I agree. I don't want Chera back inside. Not at the moment.
That's a big call, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's just, the balance isn't right with him in the team. I don't know what changes. Don't know.
No, I think
we've got the right.
Has to come back in the side. I think
Chera
Chera's one of our best players.
Over Kennedy? If I'll give you Chera v. Kennedy.
I'll take Kennedy all day because Kennedy does a lot more around the ground, yeah?
Kennedy does more around the ground.
He's a 1% player.
Yeah, but Chera's your cream. Chera's your disposal.
All right, if he's the cream, you got Crips, you got Walsh.
Crips
How
isn't
much
cream.
do you need?
They're not cream. They're your workhorses. Chera is that last kick inside 50. Chera is just your class around the ground.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying.
No. It's a massive.
I'm just saying. I feel like when he's in the team, the balance isn't right. It's like, do they just rely on him, or do they sort of take a step back? Oh, Chera's back, so we can sort of. I don't know. I just feel like when he's in the midfield, it hasn't gelled right this year.
Yeah, because he's probably been injured. That's why.
Has he that too? Has he played with just TDK rucking?
I don't know. I need to go back and
yeah.
Chera's just copped some strays here. Like, well, you didn't even play. You know that 50 Cent video? He's like, "What they say fuck me for?" Like, this poor guy's just copped strays.
It's nothing about him though. Like, he's a fantastic player, and he is superb. But and you go back to what you said, Andy, with the system. We're very mid-heavy. Like when you start talking, you're talking Hewitt, Kennedy, Cripps, Walsh, Chera. Throw Cottrell in there as well, and you got Carroll on the outside, and Well,
that's the thing. Carroll will be the one to miss out for Cotters.
Yeah, he won't get it. He'll miss for sure.
But yeah, you just have to play like Adam.
I know
Chera.
what the issue is.
Adam Chera, you just have to.
You know what it is with Chera? Needs to shave his head.
Shave his head, Chera, the menace.
I'm on Musa's side here. I don't know what it is with Chera. He is a brilliant player, right? He's silky. When he wants to be, he's quick. He's got footy smarts about him, but something, I don't know what it is. I can't give you an answer. Something just seems off when he's in the side, especially when he's playing with Walsh. I don't know what it is. Just something doesn't click with them to win the side when they're playing in the midfield. I don't know why.
Is Chera signed for next year?
Yeah, didn't we give him
I don't know.
14 years.
I don't know.
4 or 5, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. I still
Well,
think-
then, yeah. Well, if you guys don't think Chera's in the mix, should be in the
He's
mix.
definitely in the mix. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I feel when he's in the team.
Amal said Chera shouldn't be in the side, in his opinion. So do we trade him? This is what I was leading to. If you don't think he's going to be in the side, do we trade him? And what player do we trade for? What kind of player do we trade for?
Harley Reid.
Oh, here's a good one. Would you get rid of him and get a Heaney?
I'll straight swap him, man.
I'll trade you for Heaney. He's bloke.
Ah,
Like you're talking like Heaney's like arguably the best player in the competition right now. You're not going to get Heaney. So what kind of player would you go for?
Harley Reid.
You're going to need a lot more than Adam Chera. But like, do you know what I mean? If a player like Chera isn't in your best 23, what kind of player would be? If we're going to trade him, because this is just dead money now. Like having
Well,
Chera
someone that could do what Jack Martin's supposed to be doing.
So a half forward.
Yeah,
Will Haywood.
definitely for me. Definitely
Okay.
for me, a half.
Well, yeah, okay. Will Haywood.
Haywood?
If we, yeah, I'd be open. Like personally, I'd be open to trading anyone. Except
Someone get
for,
Vossi on the phone. Dial him in. Let's have that chat now.
But yeah, it's
All right,
it's
from
an interesting
what's-
concept.
Harry out, Chera out. Who's next?
There you go. Morris has thrown a comment in. He's heard whispers that Chera's actually on a trade table, potentially.
Morris hears a lot of whispers. Morris is hearing voices in his head.
Can we get back to the greatest win so far this year?
Yes.
Just-
We need
I
to.
just want to put it out there. I don't think we trade Chera, right? Like, I think Adam Chera is a gun,
Yeah.
and I think we keep him. And you may be right that maybe the mix is imbalanced when he's in the
Yeah.
side, but you know it could be for a number of factors. I don't think he's a problem.
let us
So
not
that's
forget
my
shaved head Chera. Let us not forget
Yeah, man.
the form line
Like,
of shave.
and
Maybe
he-
that's what he needs.
He killed it like a few games this year too. Yeah, a few really good games. So interesting.
It's a good problem to have.
It's
boys.
an
Good problem to
interesting-
have.
And I think it's something we won't really know the answer to till probably around 18, if he gets on the park by then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
because
next
they
year.
don't even know how long he's out for. They're not even giving us a thing. They're just saying, yeah, we're going to reevaluate at the buy. or
After the
whatever.
buy, there's a few of them ones. Yeah.
Him, Jack
Quick shout out
Martin.
to Rocco from the jumper punch. Everyone forgotten how good Chera Walsh Crips were at the back end of last year. Spot on.
Exactly.
Yeah, agreed. Fantastic. They were. I just, this year the mix hasn't worked when he's been in, but you're right. Maybe because of injury, maybe because the ruck combo. I don't know if it was Pitternet or TDK, but yeah,
There we go. 7.
just something to
Seven.
watch out for.
7's got it right.
Trade third.
I don't think.
Well,
it's
there's a few on the injury list. Obviously, we've spoken in length about Chera, but Matt Carroll, Matt Cottrell, David Cunningham, Sam Doherty, Jack Martin, Hudson O'Keefe, Mark Pittenay, and Jack Silvani. I mean, put aside the Chera conversation that we've just had, there's so much more across the rest of the ground in that injury list that you could sit here and argue about for hours and hours and hours about who goes out, who goes in. This was a completely different problem this time last year and the years before that. So a good spot to be in, absolutely.
definitely.
Paul Cunningham, has he moved in with the physio, Cunningham? Like, I feel like he sees more than anyone.
I reckon he needs to.
He's
go.
got to go. He's got to go.
I feel for him because his body's let him down
Yeah.
that much.
Sign him
And
last year.
he's talented. I think it was a year. Was it an extra year?
I think it was
just
only 1 year he got. Yeah.
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 But
Let's see
his
when he gets
body's let him
injured
down quite a bit. Between him, Marchbank, Martin, like they literally, go out to lunch and dinner with the physio every day. I don't know. Good
Yeah,
luck
it's
to him. I hope he
pretty-
gets back to it.
It's pretty disappointing though. Like 3 talented footballers and they just can't get on the park for a long
Yeah.
period of time. Like Jack Martin one was the most frustrating for me.
Mm.
Came in, played a game, and then he's out for weeks.
Weeks.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Crazy. And that again was just he pulled up sore apparently, just tightness.
Tell you what, he pulled up. Anyway,
Shall we address the hot topic,
what's that?
the umps? Oh, shoulder
Okay.
update. Yeah, what's
Yes, the arm is. That's as far as it goes, gents. It is out of the sling. It is out of the sling. It is. So rehab starts soon. Watch this space. Got something going on. Potentially, we'll announce in the preview on upcoming Thursday. The Essendon preview. We will announce a giveaway. Stay tuned. It will involve my shoulder and
Giving away his
and the
sling.
giveaway.
Giving away his sling.
Nah, it's better than that. It is definitely better than that.
Absolutely,
So
it is.
stay
Moss.
tuned. Watch this space.
It's the remains of Muss's tendon from his shoulder.
Aiden's mum.
We haven't seen that. Is Aiden in the chat? Where is he? Is he all right? Someone check on Aiden.
Yeah,
Is
he
Aiden
is.
all right? Yeah. Aiden's mum. She all right? She was unwell. She was unwell last
She was in
week.
Bali. She was in Bali getting me a new shoulder.
Yeah.
Nah, solid win.
What did you say, George? You umpires the one whole noble decision we got of 76 tackles,
That
was it?
cooked,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
cooked me.
Hot topic.
They were
Umpires.
throwing the ball. We could not buy a holding the ball free kick.
We got one holding the ball. One.
Wow.
There were
That-
so many where like the Port Adelaide players also stopped, and then the umpire just calls play on. It's super frustrating.
But
Yeah,
then
there
the
was so
next
many
day, Collingwood
non-calls.
Doggies, there were so many called. There were several called.
Except that Nick Dacos one.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Even he yelled at his teammate. Why didn't you tell me there was
Yeah,
a
he
call? And
did.
then the umpire said
Chris-
play on. Crazy.
Both dogs.
Well, there's so many non-calls. I think it was the third quarter. There was like two dropping the balls in a row. There was a holding and a dropping the ball, and the umpire just wave play on, like go on. And I think the rule changes. It's going to like watching a few games over the weekend. There's just going to be tackling of the arms.
Yeah.
I feel like and waiting till the player is he going to drop it on his foot? Is he not? Because Walsh I think got pinged for it. But there were so many non-calls.
Ridiculous. That was so stupid, that holding the ball call from Walsh. The guy was like tied up like this.
Oh, is that the one where the guy put him in a headlock?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
He's turned him. Yeah.
How was
Port
that not
Adelaide
high? He didn't duck. The umpire didn't say you ducked. But
had no
when the
prior.
umpire blows the whistle, the guy's got him in a headlock.
Carlton,
The-
that's one.
The thing is, the interpretation for incorrect disposal has changed. So it's like, how about if you just throw it and you just throw your leg up and you try? Like, does that mean
but as
it's
long
not
as you're
holding the ball?
trying, that's right. As
Yeah.
long as you're just trying to get rid of the ball,
So just throw it and throw a leg out and you're good.
it's actually crazy. It's
Participation.
so frustrating watching.
I don't think they know what they're doing anymore, to be honest.
I reckon they've lost their way a bit,
Yeah.
a lot.
They need to bring in the review for now how they get rid of the ball, I think. Just stop the game every year.
It'll slow everything down. But I mean, they want to speed the game up. Okay, fair enough, right? But when there's blatant dropping the ball or it's just
Incorrect,
they're not. There was so many non-calls, incorrect disposal. Even if you say he tried, there were ones where they literally got stripped of it. So in a tackle, it dropped, right? So there was no attempt to get rid of it. Non-calls. And lucky, we were actually great to be able to get a goal off the back of a couple of these, just with the ruthless attack. But so many non-calls, it could have it's going to cost a couple of games for the rest of the season.
Well, it almost cost the Doggies because that one where Dacos dropped it was right in front of their goals. They would have got a goal, and Collingwood. I
And
think,
they had
kicked the next-
momentum.
and the Doggies had momentum. Then Collingwood kicked the next 3 or 4 or whatever. So disappointing. Did you guys notice that there were across the weekend? There were a lot more tired players towards end of quarters than normal. I put it down to the umpires blowing the whistle a lot quicker, so players aren't getting that extra 3 or 4 seconds at just before a stoppage, just to get a breather while the umpires blowing the whistle, pulling it up. So players are constantly running. It's just something I picked up.
It compounds. If you think about it, right, how many stoppages in a quarter, right?
Exactly.
Multiply that by 3-4 seconds. That's a couple of minutes of breathing time.
Yeah.
That's a good theory. You
Yeah.
know, when you think
It's
about
just-
it,
Yeah.
back in the day, they'd let it go a little bit. You know, whistle, throw the ball up. At least you got a few seconds to breathe. But yeah, there you go.
But that's a consequence of speeding up the game. That's what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's funny. It speeds up the game, but then I think it's detrimental to players.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
at what cost? Yeah.
You're probably going to start seeing more injuries.
Shout out to Stavros in the comments. He asked me how my eyes are doing. My eyes are doing a lot better. Thank you very much. I can kind of open it now. Still struggling to see a bit when I close my eyes. I can see Moose's head, but can't see much else. So thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Votes?
I forgot where we are. Yes, votes. Thank you. For those watching along, let us know who got the votes against the win against Port Adelaide. 1 vote, 2 votes, 3 votes. Moose, I'll start with you today.
Thank. Yeah, righto. I'm going to give 1 to Crips for all the reasons George is going to say. I'll tell you what, he put on the cape, the wet man cape in that last quarter, and Crips doesn't pull that out in the 4th. Do we win? Probably not.
This bloke.
He was Superman in that last quarter. Sorry, Carl. Wet man in that last quarter. Crips gets 1. TDK gets my 2. Andy called him out. So he backed him up, and he had a fantastic game. He was everywhere, and he's developing and growing. He's going to be an All-Australian ruckman. You will see him in that All-Australian side.
This year?
And I wouldn't say this year. Probably within the next 2 years. Within the next 2 years, he'll be an All-Australian ruckman. Still young. I think he still needs to put on a couple of kilos. I know he gets around, quite athletic. He needs probably another 3 or 4 kilos.
You reckon?
Just to be able to sort of, I think
He's a big boy. He's growing.
He has filled out. He definitely has filled out. But I think a couple of extra kilos. But look, it's definitely going to slow him down. But I think he'll, be able to go toe to toe with those, more experienced older ruckmen as well. He's very young. So well done, TDK. They call him King, don't they? We've got to get that going, I think. And 3-2 Walsh for me. He's just game in, game out. He's just coming out, getting his 30 touches and just getting it done. Hard ball. You know what's changed for me? Was there a stat? I think, Carl, you and I were talking about this. Hard ball gets, ground ball gets, and that. It's all now comes under contested possessions, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's, When did that change?
Years. It's been weird.
Yeah.
Years.
I hate it.
It kills me because you see these.
Every Collingwood supporter
it
thinks
means nothing.
Every Collingwood supporter thinks Stacos is the hardest player in the comp. That's what does my head.
Yeah, yuck. So for the players like your Crips and players under every pack,
there should be a hard ball by itself.
Yeah, they don't get the recognition for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Walsh. He's everywhere. 3 votes. Yeah, that's me.
Hey, interesting. 7 in the comments because the Koning is Dutch for the king. There you go. That's why. Not bad. And Naz asked, has anyone mentioned Walsh's kicking efficiency? Walsh could not hit a target in the first half.
55%.
What did he finish at 55?
55 or 53?
I think it was one of them.
53.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Absolute bull. Needs new boots.
That's always been a part of his game, though. And you're probably right. Well, Chera comes into the side and comes in at 85, 90%. So,
well, this is going back to that Chera one. Sorry, boys. Chera is that handball that Walsh would probably go to, or Crips would go to for that kick inside 50, which we've lacked this year. So that's where I think Chera's class comes clutch. So anyway.
It's probably the only area of his game that's letting him down at the moment. It's like when he gets the ball, his first instinct is to drop his head and then just boot it long. but I have complete faith in the guy to turn that around very, very quickly. It's Sam Walsh, for God's sake. He'll
What
fix
do you
it
end
up.
up finishing? How many touches? Doesn't even look.
34.
33,
Yeah.
was it? 34?
34.
Fucking hell, he's a bull.
Second highest disposals. 35 against GWS. He'll fix it up, and he'll start getting the 3 votes very, very, very quickly. Who wants to go next? Georgie.
The consolation vote to Chincotta, I think he's a bit stiff to miss out, but in all honesty, I know he shouted out his work that he did, and getting the goal was three backmen got goals this week for us. So Kemp, Gov, Chincotta as well. I mean, he played as a tagger, but it counts as a backman, so that was nice. But it can't be understated the job that he did, and I saw an interview. I think was it when he got signed. Or when they were going to sign him to a contract, and he got in front of the guys, the players, and he said, "I'm gonna work my ass off for you guys. I'm gonna give it 110%." So you just see the passion and how much he loves the club, and how he's willing to literally do it any job to the best of his ability. So there you go, Peter V. I've almost got the same votes, but yeah, shout out, honourable mention. So I'm gonna give one to TDK, the King. Great as an extra mid now, honestly. Like, gets the quick handball out, impacts around the ground, ferocious tackler, speed, hit outs, you name it. He's just, like I said earlier, I think he's now part of the big six. There's no more big five. I think he's up there, should be mentioned as in that group. I'm going to give 2 to Walsh, and I think and that is spot on, Joe. 13 tackles. I think for me, that's what I look at that over the 33 touches and inside 50s. Like the 8, I think he had 7 or 8 turnovers. And again, I'm not putting a blight on the guy. Like he had a fantastic game. He was very super effective. He's come back and he just hasn't missed a beat. But in a game where, for example, if we lose that game, and you look at his stat line, and you say, okay, yeah, 33 touches, 8 turnovers. All of a sudden, it's like, did he play a fantastic game, or did they rebound and score off those kicks, right? So, but the 13 tackles for me, his ferocity on the ball was fantastic. Freddie Cripps, wet man for 3.
Wet man.
22 touches, 11 score involvements. That for me, that says it all, right? And every second touch is a score involvement for that guy on Thursday night. And the first
That's wild.
3 minutes.
Literally, yeah.
Absolutely. Like back in the day, we'd have blokes that would rack up 35, 40, lucky to get 4 or 5 score involvements out of that. So every second touch from Crips, and it's personified by the first 5 minutes of that fourth quarter. The first 3 minutes of game time, 2 goals, 2 inside 50s that led to the Williams and Chincotta goals. Just watching that back was the stuff of beauty. So, wet man, 3 votes.
Wet man done it again.
Carl?
I just want to quickly point out, I'm not going to give him votes stiff. Zach Williams, I said it last week, I'm going to say it again. His ability to go forward, not his role. Kicked 7 goals now in the last 2 goals, but the last 2 weeks. But his ability to, when he gets the ball, the instinct to get rid of it, to have a shot that quick, like he's basically had a shot before he even gets the ball, and he's picking them. Amazing. So I just want to put that out real quick.
Call out. That's a good call out. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 vote to Sam Walsh. Love what he's doing, but he has to clean up disposal. 8 turnovers. It's not the best. But he will fix it. 2 votes, Tom de Koning. I think Andy said it earlier. Probably one of his best games he's had, man. He's just killing it everywhere. And his tap work's getting better as he's going. And 3 votes to Wetman. Can't go past Wetman. He had a cracking game, man. Andy?
We want to trade him to the forward line, Naz. That's what we're talking about.
Come on, Naz, get with the program, bro.
Not listening, clearly.
Just quickly before Andy goes as well, isn't it funny that how even probably an average game these days now from Walsh is probably worth 2 or 3 Brownlow votes?
That's where he's at.
This will be a very interesting come Brownlow night, and we'll I'm keen to get your thoughts on where you think are out that later as well. But like that game is worth 2 or 3 votes, and you'd say that the games earlier this season when he's come back were probably significantly a lot better than that. For me, the tackles and the attack on the footy was huge, but I think he's firming up for an insane late charge. Not only on Brownlow, but best and fairest as well. Like, he's killing it.
You know who scares me best and fairest, George? Nick Newman.
I was just about to mention Nick Newman.
There you go. He's just gone under the. Well, he shouldn't have gone under the radar. I think he was almost one of the best and fairest last year, but just behind Jacob Wiedering. And it says a lot for Jacob Wiedering to take it from. I mean, two key backs fighting for best and fairest. It says a lot. So anyway, let you run away with Nick Newman, Andy. Excellent
call out, Moose. That's the best call out of the night for me, because we never, and this is as a Carlton collective. I'm sure there are people who do, but as a collective, we don't acknowledge the players who do the dirty stuff, the players who do get their hands dirty, get their knees dirty, get their elbows dirty. I watched Nick Newman. There was a passage of play. The game was done. The game was over. And there was a ball on Port's half forward line, and I don't know, there was a couple of Port players. Newman's on the ground. One arm, his other arm's gone. I don't know what it's doing. He had one hand on the ball, and the Port players couldn't get the ball out. So they were literally fighting over it, and Nick Newman just would not give up that football. The game was done. There was you know what I mean? And that is a testament to his work rate, to his mental toughness, and his willingness to do whatever it takes. It's like he plays every week, and he's played this role for as long as he's been at Carlton, really. He used to give away a lot of dumb free kicks. He used to not be mature with his emotions, right? On the field. And he'd give away free kicks, and he'd give away a 50. Thank God that's crept out of his game. He still gives the odd, free kick away, but that's going to happen. But his ability to just put his head over the ball, get his 20-odd touches a week, and they're all effective, they're all goal-saving, he needs to get his flowers, because what he does, there's nobody else on our team that does it to his level every week. No, think about all the players we've bagged out, all the players that have done.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Of course, yeah, we're highly passionate supporters. I don't think we've ever said that Nick Newman doesn't try. I don't think we've ever said that Nick Newman, he shouldn't be in the team or whatever.
I think in our dark days, even in those shitty games where we're like, fuck, no one's trying, there's no heart, there's no belief, he was always the one getting the vote still.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly right. We were still giving him, his twos, his ones and twos. So, yeah, great call out, Moss.
Thanks, Andy.
In saying that, he's not getting a vote.
Sorry, Nick, I tried.
Sorry, Nick.
Gassed him up. He needs his flowers, but not today.
I'm going to go 1 to TDK for all the reasons you boys said. 2 to Wetman. I think, I'll say it again. My captain, he's just jump on my back, boys. I'll get you there. And what a quarter he had. What an absolute, that's a quarter that we'll talk about when we win the flag this year, right? And we're going to look back on the year, and we're going to think about the moments that stood out. That is going to be one of the best moments that's going to stand out in that Blu-ray DVD we're going to get of our premiership season. That's going to be a highlight, that quarter. And Sam Walsh gets my 3. Sam Walsh was just beast mode. He's going to get 34 touches. He's going to turn it over a few times. Frustrating. It's annoying, but he's got a body on him almost all the time.
Or 2.
I love what he's doing. So, yeah. How's the chat looking for the...
On your Hachi.
Yes, Hachi. Hey, boys. Yeah.
Mine's pretty much identical to Oz's. 1 to TDK, 2 to Crips, and 3 to Walsh. Well, pretty much the same as Andy's too. A solid win, a great way to kick off the Friday and following on into the weekend. It's a long wait, Thursday up until the following Sunday, and we come up against Essendon this week. What a game! What a position both teams are in. Essendon's looking like they're coming good. They went hard on the trade table last year, and on the other side of the coin, Carlton have also found their mojo, and they found it at a really, really good time. So it's just going to be like the script is written, right? What better way to go into a Carlton Essendon game than both of these teams being arguably at the peak of their abilities so far? It's going to be fantastic. Mackay versus Mackay, Cripps versus Merritt, Walsh versus this guy. There's matchups all over the ground, and it's going to be brilliant at an MCG with very, very likely over 90,000 people. The tickets are sold out. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
So there's
people are paying ridiculous prices for tickets.
Yeah. Thank God. I think
Gave me anxiety, Mal. Thanks for that.
Andy, I think you sorted out the tickets, so thanks for that. We got in nice and early to get them sorted out. Otherwise, we'd be scrambling at the moment as well.
We're not sitting in front of Little Miss Old Lady. It's our away game this week, so there's no
Nice.
Fantastic.
no threatening to call the antisocial behaviour line.
She might be sitting in front of us this week.
Let's just hope it's not a repeat of the third quarter from last year, because that's what led to a lot of frustration. But I can't see that happening.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Walsh did make mention of it after the game against Port Adelaide. He said that we're after redemption. We're after redemption, and I love that.
That G'd me up. G'd me up. I loved hearing that. That means these players care. These players listen. They care. They feel it.
Oh, got to bring it now. Talk
We are
is
winning
cheap.
400 points.
I think we need to overlay a sample of the review clip in this Thursday's preview. just a little bit, just a taste.
And I'm angry.
Yeah.
I was so cut. My favorite part of that review, still to this day, is a Miles intro where all the names were just coming up with Sam.
Took me 25 minutes to find all the names of the directors at the football club.
Literally every single person attached to the club.
It's an obituary. That's fantastic.
I'll try and find some short clips. We'll see if we can put something together for the preview. But until then,
Quick one. Just a quick one. Big shout out again, as always, bluescrypto.com. Get around it. If you're new to crypto and investing or seasoned investor, get around it. Bluescrypto.com. You can also have a look through on the couple of different social mediums there's Telegram, websites, Twitter or X, if you call it. The young kids call it, what is it, X nowadays? I've just popped it in the chat there as well. Get around them. Big thanks to Ur for getting around us. A really cool opportunity, an exciting investment opportunity from a really passionate Carlton man. So thank you, Ur, and get around bluescrypto.com.
Good stuff.
gentlemen, until the preview, it is sayonara from the Monday Blues.
Sticky now.